Hey, what's up? It's Catthecake, and today I'm going to be showing you my very first Sims 4 speed build. It's not the first build that I've ever made, but it is the first one that I have ever recorded. So I'm very excited about that, and I hope you like it. So from the title, you can see that it's called an alternative produce farm, and I struggled so hard to figure out a title for this house. I'm not really sure if this suits it. I don't really think it's a farm, but it is something of the sort, I guess. Um, yeah, so right now I'm just sort of sort of making the outline of the house, which is like something I really struggle with, because I don't like when I just sort of build from a square, I guess. Um, this is actually my second attempt at making the outline of the house. I did make a really big one because at the beginning I was like, I want to make a really big house for this farm, like, and make it an actual farm. But the house got so big, and I'm not very good at like building in big houses. I never know how to fill them out, so yeah, I deleted that and started on this one. And yeah, so that room that I was just sort of trying to decorate this one with the trees, I was trying to find a real that's the bedroom, by the way. I was trying to find a really like peaceful kind of wall color texture. What do you call that? Wallpaper. Um, but I didn't really feel like I'm going back to it. I didn't really feel like I could find anything, but I'm coming back to it and trying again later, which is something I do a lot when I build. I sort of get distracted. I go from one thing to another instead of finishing the thing that I was like doing. So, yeah. So now I'm doing the bathroom, and I really like these mirrors that I put up. I love how you can like make them bigger and you can't really see that they're overlapping each other. So I use them a lot on walls and like making big mirrored walls. So yeah, and now I'm trying to find a rug, which I'm really struggling with. So the idea for this house is that it's a really modern house, but I want the people that live in there, like the I don't know, if you download it, then you can have whatever family you want in there. But the idea I had behind it was that the family that lives there is kind of environmentally conscious and very sustainable. And so they get all their stuff. Like they don't actually buy stuff, they get all of it thrifted. So they don't buy new stuff. So I wanted the a vibe of like a family who just found a bunch of stuff at a thrift store or a secondhand shop or whatever you call that. Um, and it was quite the challenge actually in such a modern house. But it made it really fun. So I'm trying to find like all the colorful things and like also make it a little bit zen because they're the kind of people who like they try to grow their own food and they find all their stuff at the flea market, and yeah, and they do yoga and meditation and stuff like that. So that's kind of the vibe that I was going for in this house. And also in here, like, oh my god, can we talk about the Sims beds? um I hate that the like I very much care about like the comfort level of my Sims. But the most of the beds that are actually comfortable are really goddamn ugly. I'm sorry for my language there, but they're really ugly. And, or if they're not ugly, they're like these really fancy beds. And I really wanted something that looked like they could have built it themselves, or, well, just found at a flea market, obviously, as I keep mentioning. Um, so I was really annoyed that I couldn't find a comfortable bed that looked like. Actually, what I really wanted was a futon of some sort. But that's not a thing in The Sims yet, but I hope it becomes one. I didn't want the air mattress because that looked very much like an air mattress. Now you can see I'm doing the wallpaper again and I just can't decide. I wanted something really peaceful. Um, like when you walk in, you just immediately feel at peace with yourself. I feel like the trees was the closest thing I could get to that. So I don't know. I don't know if it really like I would have probably picked something else if there was something else available, but I don't know. That was the best. I was trying to figure out if there was a different color for this wallpaper, but there wasn't. So I just went with this. I feel like it was pretty peaceful. I don't know. It got there in the end. I'm obviously not done with that room because, as I keep mentioning, or as I have mentioned before, I kind of just go back and forth all the time, and like I find something in uh, all the items, and I'm like, ooh, that fits really well into this room, and I go into the next room and start decorating that because I found that one item that fit really well instead of just finishing. So right now I'm building a kitchen, and I have actually built this kitchen before, well, something like it. Um, and I've just been sort of waiting for an opportunity to like use it, I guess, because I really liked it, and yeah, so I'm kind of building this from memory of the old thing I did, except I have some new packs since that time, so I have some new items that I could put in there, which was fun. Yeah, and I really tried to find sort of their vibe, like this family's vibe in this modern house. I really like how all the windows around it. I love rooms that are just windows. I think maybe I'm gonna be careful with what I'm saying, but like maybe one day I'm gonna build an entire glass house. I just feel like that could be fun. We'll see. Um, yeah, and I really like the chairs by that table with all the different colors. I thought that was really fun, and that was actually an idea I got from another build I had, which I'm probably going to rebuild. We don't know. No one knows. I say a lot of stuff and then it doesn't happen. That's kind of what I do. Yeah. So yeah, right now I'm just putting in plants. I feel like this family is the kind of family that would have a lot of plants. And then who doesn't love plants? I love plants. I feel like they just make me happier. Um, I just wish I was better at keeping them alive, honestly. Um, yeah, I would love this kitchen. I just feel like maybe it would get a little hot in the summer. Um, but yeah, it looks cool. So, but I'm basically just rebuilding this from memory of the old thing I did. So that's which was it kind of helped me a little bit. I'm very bad at making decisions, so it kind of helped me that I'd already done this because then at least I knew sort of what I wanted and where. So I'm still struggling a little bit. I do come up with some new things that I did not have in my old build. Also, it's kind of turned around a little. The door's in a different spot. Um, but yeah, I really like how this whole house turned out. It was, as I said, quite a little bit of a struggle with the modern and the sustainable, whatever you want to call that. I don't know what to call it. Um, all clashed into one, um, which is also why I decided to put a voiceover on this video, because I mean I was going to anyway, probably. Who knows? This is my first one, so I'm actually a little bit nervous that I can't talk for this whole video. I'm already struggling a little bit. But yeah, I really needed to, I felt like I needed to explain sort of the clash here, because maybe too, I don't know, maybe people won't wonder, but I would probably wonder a little bit, like why it's so modern and then the inside is kind of not at all modern. I don't know. But yeah, I just had a very specific family in mind. Right now, I really wanted them to have like a place to do yoga, and I just couldn't figure out like how to put it there. Like I'm trying to put it in front of the door, but I didn't really feel like that was a good place to do yoga in front of the front door. So I ended up adding an extra room, and that was sort of their like yoga hangout room. Um, And I think it really turned out well. There's not a lot of stuff in this room because I also feel like this family wouldn't be very materialistic, and they would just sort of find their own fun in nature. They're a very nature loving family. I feel like that was kind of what I needed them to be because, I mean, they have a produce farm or whatever. They're at least growing their own food. So, yeah, I felt like they needed to love being outside. And most families I know of that are kind of like this do love being outside. So, yeah. Um, so they don't have a lot of stuff inside. I mean, they kind of do, but it's not unnecessary stuff, I guess. I don't know. They have the things that make them happy, and that's it. Um, and I'm kind of struggling with rugs. I always struggle with rugs. I'm very bad at making decisions. Did I mention that? Um, yeah, so I'm like constantly going back and forth on colors and rugs and art. Rugs and art are probably the two things in this game that I'm terrible at making decisions on. Um, but I end up with something in the end, and usually it looks good. So yeah, I think it looks good in this too. So good job, me. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out here what like else they would have, and I'm basically just finding random things. I was really struggling with these dried herbs because like I really like the look of them, but I just felt like they needed to be down lower to where they could actually use them. But I ended up just hanging them over the window. Um, yeah. And right now I'm putting in windows everywhere, and I realize that they're not all the same color. And I don't change that in this video. I have changed it when it's uploaded to the gallery, because I did realize it when I was sort of going through things in the house. Also, here I'm struggling with the curtains because they're snapping to the windows. Um, but I figure out how to do it. You just remove the window, and then you put up the curtain, and then you put the windows back. And there we go. Um, but yeah, I do end up change all the colors of the windows to the same sort of color. Nothing really matches in The Sims, does it? Well, some things do. Also, I put up a TV for them. I don't really feel like that's something that they would have. What I really wanted them to have was a laptop, but I did not have a laptop at this time. Today is the 25th of February, so tomorrow we will get a laptop in this game if I do end up getting Strange Will. So this bill was just a little early for that. But yeah, I would have liked them to have a laptop instead of a TV where they could like do their work and also possibly watch movies. I don't know if they can watch movies on the laptop that we're getting. We'll see. I'm excited to see what that laptop will do. But I have actually wanted a laptop in this game for a really long time because I just don't always feel like putting up a desktop computer for teenagers and stuff. It just seems a lot easier to have a laptop for them. Yeah, and then I gave them a tablet because I don't know. It was the closest to a laptop I could get. And they don't have a computer, so I felt like maybe a tablet would be ideal. Um, yeah, so then we're on the roof now. I am not super good at roofs, I don't feel like, but I do feel like this turned out sort of modern. I don't know. I also don't know if this was the best way to make this roof on the kitchen. But that's how I did it anyway. And it looks alright. In the future, I'd probably have put a skylight. I don't know if I would have put a glass roof, but that's what it turned out to be. And I don't hate it, so yeah. But I'm kind of almost done with the house here. And then we're going to go to the outside. I'm just gonna put up some, I don't know what you call that, but it's being put up. Yeah. So now we're going to the outside. And this family, I put a washer for them because they are living in, like, they're not off grid. So they're still living in society. Um, uh, so I put a washer for them, but I didn't really want them to have a dryer. I thought that I would rather have them hang their clothes outside because that is, I feel like this family would be like, uh, this is just the best way in this society to like dry clothes. I don't know. Um, and also I do wish that we had like a way to have like a tropical city or something in The Sims so the weather didn't change, so they could always use the hanger outside. Um, because I mean, I think they can still use the hanger outside in the winter, but in real life you wouldn't actually hang your stuff out or your clothes outside in the winter. I don't feel like, but whatever. Um, this is The Sims. This isn't real. Um, anyway, let's move on. They have a hanger for their clothes. That's not even what it's called, is it? It's called a clothesline or something. I don't know. We're moving on to the actual farm of the house. This is sort of just a grid for everything. I did go into debug mode to like find the actual things as if they were grown, but and then I put down this table where I put all the vegetables that they were gonna grow. But because I thought I could just use the iDrubber tool and copy it, but that doesn't work in debug, so this table is just randomly here. But this is not what it's gonna look like in the end. This is sort of just to help me figure out like where the plants are and what to do around it. You don't see that, but I do go in and switch it all out with some plants I downloaded from the gallery that were perfect. So yeah, this is just a grid, and I also put the lettuce down on the ground here, which I end up realizing that you can't actually plant lettuce, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you can. I just couldn't find a plant that was planted, and I couldn't get my Sims to plant it either, so I don't really know. So I end up switching that out for something else. I can't even remember. Oh, yeah, spinach. So, and then I put a little swing set for the kiddos and a bonfire because I feel like they would be a family that would like to be outside and have fun around the bonfire. And here you see me putting down some dirt, which in the next clip that we see has changed color because I saved this after I put this down. And then when I went back into the save, because I think I quit after this, I exited the game after this because I was kind of like, I need a break right now. I had been filming for 3 hours. But yeah, so in this clip, you can see that it changed color. And it's not the light. It is actually because when I went back into the game, it was gone. So that was fun. I had to do it all over again. And then I put the wrong dirt down, I guess. But yeah, I do change it, so it's back to what it was before. I kind of like that one better. And here I'm just trying to like put some plants down. I wanted the garden to not look too kept or whatever. I don't know how to really say that. I wanted it to have some wild plants growing because they weren't, this family I feel like wouldn't be too they wouldn't care too much about like wildflowers growing, like that's fine for them. So I'm really trying to like figure out a way to put some wild grass, but this grass didn't really suit me. And the other wild grass that I'm probably gonna you're gonna see in a second, I think. This one, I felt like it was too big, but I ended up using it anyway. I really want that wild grass that looks like these flowers. I want it to be smaller, like not a quadrant, but like a rectangle. But that doesn't exist. But I found a way to work around it. I end up deleting a lot of this and then putting some back. And like, I'm just really struggling figuring out how to make this look kind of unkept. Um, but I feel like I came to a good result in the end. Kind of repetitive. So I am cutting some of that out. But yeah, I feel like it turned out good. Um, a lot of these I felt were too dense. I really just needed the grass like this grass. Um, and now I finally figured out how I wanted to use it. I still wouldn't have minded having it a little smaller. I don't know. Like not smaller as in because I could have just made it smaller with the button, but you know what I mean. Like I really just wanted it to not fill out 4 squares but 2. Um, but I think this is a good result. Um, Also, I figured out that the Sims, I found out that Sims can't walk through that grass, which is kind of annoying. I will tell you about that why that's annoying later because you will see. I found this kind of grass too, um, but I couldn't really figure out how to place it. I was struggling so hard with this wild thing. I feel like there wasn't enough wild plants. It was a lot of the same that I used, but it turned out alright. So yeah, this is just all the detail works, but also this lot that I'm building on, I don't know why I haven't really built on it before. I really love this lot. Like I would, if I had to choose a lot to live on in The Sims, it would be this one. I don't even know which one it is. I don't know what it's called. Oh, I guess you can see it's called the lighthouse. Duh. Um, it's the lot on the island in Windenburg that like has the really big house, I think. No, it's not the one with the really big house. It's the one with the blonde family. I don't know. Maybe that's only in my game. I can't remember if I downloaded that. No, I don't know. I can't remember who lived here. But it's one of the lots on the island in Winterberg. And it's so pretty because you can see the ocean, and now you can see all the repetitive work that I'm doing with this grass. Um, but yeah, it's so pretty because you can see the ocean, and like there's a little beach area, which I don't think the Sims can go on, but it's nice to look at anyway. And there's trees all around it, and I would love to live on this in real life. Actually, I would love this house in real life, to be honest. Like, I think it would be pretty great to live here. I would love to have a house where I could just grow my own food. That just sounds like the dream. So I'm just putting some flowers here and there and just, yeah, making it look like no one cared to cut the grass. And I think it turned out alright, to be honest. Um, Also, this is not gonna look like that because I end up actually the vegetables that I put down, I end up making another row of those, and I think I can't even remember anymore. I'm just rambling at this point. Yeah, I end up changing some of the vegetables that I put down, and also the fruit trees and stuff. I end up also changing that because they were a little bigger than I thought they would be when I put in the actual trees that were grown. So the fence doesn't end up looking like it does. It has a smaller opening, so the tiles, or it's not really tiles, it's just a terrain tool, but the stone tiles there, they don't have that little thing going out on the side, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean. It's okay if you don't either. I'm rambling. So yeah, I'm really just landscaping right now, which I have a really hard time landscaping, but yeah, I kind of enjoy it, and it always turns out all right, I guess. This grass is what I was talking about earlier. Like, I found out that the Sims won't sit there if there's grass there, so I have to remove them from the bonfire. Or the seats of the bonfire. It's not in the bonfire, but you know. Which is kind of a bummer because I really like the look of that, because it was sort of like we're still kind of in the woods-ish, but apparently Sims can't walk on grass or unkept grass, um, which is annoying. And a friend of mine actually pointed out that they can walk through flowers, which I remember that being a thing, but is that a thing in Sims 4? It might be, I don't know. But if they can walk through flowers, I feel like it would be really weird if they, or it is really weird that they can't walk through wild grass. I feel like I'm just talking a lot, like about nothing. Is that annoying? I don't know. Oh yeah, I realized late in the build that they probably need a bookshelf. I feel like this family probably wouldn't have a lot of books, but they would have some books, and they would definitely have a painting place for creativity. But yeah, I don't think they would have like a bunch of books. Maybe they would be the type to go to the library more often than buying books, because they're kind of anti-consumerist, I guess, in a way, with the whole flea market thing. I don't know. That's the vibe I was going for anyway. Yeah, there's not a whole lot more, I think I have to say, but there's still quite a lot of the video left. This is also, I should probably not have started out with this build, to be honest. Like, this is like one of my bigger builds I have ever done. I have done one that's bigger than this, actually, and it's on the gallery. Like, I'm gonna upload this on the gallery and you can see my other build. Like, it's a really big house, modern-ish house that I put up on the gallery. My ID on the gallery is Catthecake, so if you want to get this house for your Sims, then you can by searching Catthecake, in one, no spaces in between. Is it one word then? I don't know. There's no space in it. And I was really, that wall right there, I was really struggling with that. I thought it looked so bare and I couldn't handle it. And I was trying to find out what to put there. So I kept like coming back to it and being like, trying to figure out what to put up on it, but I never really found anything. I found a little plant to put in front of it, but that was sort of it. I think it kind of is alright because, I don't know, they probably wouldn't have too much on their walls on the outside. Who does, really? I don't know anyone who puts stuff up on the walls outside unless it's like really necessary stuff. I don't know. So yeah, I don't really have a lot more to say. I'm just rambling, really. I hope you didn't get annoyed by that. This is my first ever voiceover. I hope that it will get better. And hopefully my builds won't be this long in the future, so I don't have to speak for a half hour straight. I actually feel like it went really fast, to be honest with you. Yeah. So I think maybe I'm done. Now I'm just putting in the finishing touches of the build. I hope you liked it. Also, if you download it, make sure you have move objects on, because I don't know how it will place without it. And yeah, I hope you like this build and that you enjoyed watching this video and listen to me rambling about everything and nothing. So yeah, thanks so much for watching my video, and I will hopefully see you again sometime soon. Bye!